Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time we're going to be looking and observing and examining the deck profile of the UTA Starter Deck 11 One Piece deck. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully y'all are having an absolutely wonderful, beautiful, and an amazing day. Now, as I just mentioned, today's the first time, legitimately the first time, that I am going to be looking at the UTA Starter Deck, and we're going to see what the cards look like, the deck profile overall, and kind of my thoughts on whether or not this might be a playable meta deck. Right off the bat, I'm not seeing too many people talk about this deck, so I'm going to assume it's probably not the most meta deck, but let's see what kind of cards are in here and whether or not it's worth $12 MSRP. Hopefully just 12, because some people be trying to scalp this thing for 20 bucks, which no, not today. But ladies and gentlemen, as you do know, for starter decks in particular, if you ever want to use a starter deck for gaming, you need two, because there's always, as people who may or may not know, for One Piece decks, when you're making a deck, you can always have 4 max of a certain card. Now, for starter decks, they purposely only give you like 2 of each like card that you need. So like this deck will probably have an SR that they only like, it's really good, that's usable, you need it. They'll only give you 2 in one deck, and then they'll give you, that's why you have to get another one to get 4 for a quote-unquote play set to maximize the card's ability. As y'all do know, in starter decks, they do give you 8 commons, 2 uncommons, 2 rares, 2 super rares. Like I said before, you need basically 4 uncommons, 4 rares, and 4 super rares, 1 leader. And let's see what the cards look like, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be interesting, because I know some people in my Discord were like, yo, I want to play the UTA starter deck. I'm like, okay, sure. They have, you know, made the packaging better for starter decks. It used to be this really janky packaging. Looks fancier. But let's dive deep into this starter deck, ladies and gentlemen. So we have the UTA leader card, and we have 10 Dawn cards as well. Now, only if I can open this properly, and I'm probably going to use this deck to play against Prodigious, no spoilers, this week, which we were supposed to play last week, but stuff happened. Here we go. Let's look at the leader card first. Dawn ×1. When attacking, once per turn, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and add up to 1 film type card to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck.
2 hours later.
Interesting. So it's kind of a searcher. If you give her a Dawn attack, you can search the top of your deck and add up to 1 film type card to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. But how many can you draw? Reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and add up to 1. Reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and add up to 1 film type card to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. Okay, is the wording messing with y'all, or is it just me? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I'm looking at this deck, okay? So don't judge me. I'm not the smartest pickle in the room. Let me read this again. Once per turn, reveal 1 card on top of her hand. So you give her a Dawn, she swings, and you basically reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. So you take 1 card and add up to 1 film card to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom of your deck. So you're placing... Am I stupid? Am I just not understanding this? What the heck? Okay, let's keep moving on. Okay, so now we have the 3-cost, 4,000 power UTA card as well. It is a blocker card. You may trash 1 event card from your hand, set up to 1 of your film type characters as active. Okay. I guess it could be useful if you're swinging with a blocker Luffy film card, which is a 7k swing, and then at the end of the turn, you can trash an event from your hand to reset the Luffy as a blocker. Not a bad card. I'm not entirely sure how that'll synergize, but once again, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. They only give you 2. That's why you need another starter deck till you got 4 to get a playset. Now, let me see some of these events here. This is an SR event card, so if your leader is UTA, it's one Dawn. Look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, reveal to 1 film type card other than New Genesis, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck and then you order set one Dawn as active. Okay, so use a Dawn. Look at 3 cards, reveal up to 1 film card. That's not New Genesis, so you can't pill another New Genesis. And then, you know, add it to your hand. So it's basically a 1-cost searcher card. So you use a Dawn and gain a Dawn back, so you're not really losing a Dawn, which is not bad. Pretty good event card, but once again, you only get 2. Okay, now I'm noticing something, ladies and gentlemen. These are reprints. This is a reprint card from OPO2. So they do give you 4 of these Brooks, which synergizes. Is this deck a full reprint? Oh my god. I didn't know that. Okay, so basically, 4 cards are new. This is an OPO2 reprint card that you need for the film deck. This is a reprint as well. Oh my god, these are all reprints. This whole deck is a reprint. This whole deck is a reprint. So stupid, I didn't know. Okay, well, let me see. Okay, no, this is not a reprint. Okay, but let me at least go over some of these cards real quick with y'all, ladies and gentlemen.
2 hours later.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it took me a little while to understand that this deck is mostly a reprint deck. Good to know. I'm stupid. Apologies. But if we did look at the synergy for this deck, basically one of the combos for this deck is going to be summoning the Brook. So rest 4 Dawn, on play up to 1 film or straw crew character with cost 3 or less from your hand. The moment you play this card, you can literally play this Usopp card right after. So that's a synergizing kind of move there. Pretty solid combo. Huge wombo combo. The Chopper, realistically, this is good just for like a counter. So 2000 counter card. Not bad. I don't see his ability being used too much, even when OPO2 was kind of meta at the time. Lost card, once again, activate main. You may rest specified number of Dawn cards in your cost area. You may return this character to the owner's hand. Play up to 1 character cost of 3 from your hand. Okay. So you summon him for 2 Dawn, rest a Dawn. So you're basically using 3 Dawn to return Law to your hand to play another character with the cost of 3 from your hand.
What?
I never read this card's ability, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. But you summon him for 2, you rest 1, so you're basically using 3 Dawn. Return the Law to your hand, and play a character with the cost of 3 from your hand. So I guess... What's the point? I don't know. Why don't you just play a 3 Dawn character from the first place then? Whatever, I guess you can set up for it later. The Robin card, play up to 1 film character straw card from your hand, the cost of 2 or less from your hand. So this card would kind of synergize. You summon him, same as Brook and Usopp. Summon Robin on play, and then you can summon Jinbei. So that's the synergy kind of thing there. Not bad. Now the Frankie, pretty a 5 cost, 7,000 power vanilla attacker. Not bad. Zoro is very similar as well. Now Zoro does synergize quite well with this Luffy card. So Luffy, same thing. The moment you summon Luffy, you can play a 4 cost and below. That's what Zoro's for. So as you can see, there's like combos for this film deck where you're summoning 1 card and then you get a free summon of a card of lower cost. It makes sense. 3 style Onigiri. Okay, the thing is, the funny thing is I don't play film decks too often, so it's gonna be the first time actually reading a lot of these cards, other than the Luffy and the Zoro cards and the Usopp there. But this event card, counter, so 3 counter. So on the opponent's turn, if they swing, you have to have 3 active Dawn. Up to 1 of the leader or character cards gain 6,000 power during this battle. Then play up to 1 character cost 3 or less, and no base effect from your hand. Interesting. So basically, if you use this counter card, you can summon a card like with no base effect. So it has to be the only card you could realistically summon is going to be Usopp. So if you have Usopp in your hand, and on the opponent's turn they swing, and then you can use this card to basically give your Uta 11,000 power, and then you can summon Usopp. That's not bad, but that is a pretty interesting. And then the trigger is pretty solid too. Rest of one of your opponents leaves the characters with a cost of 5 or less. Interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. This deck, okay, so this is the nude card. I have not seen this card. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen the Uta film either, so that's something that I probably do have to watch at some point. But apparently she's pretty OP. Main, if your leader is Uta, obviously she is, 2 cost ability to summon this card. Rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters at the cost of 5 or less. Okay, or knock out up to 1 of your opponent's rested characters at the cost of 5 or less. Interesting. And they only give you 2. Dude, do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is a common card, and clearly the effects of this card is legit. Alright? So you can literally rest a blocker for just 2 Dawn, or knock out a character that had 5 costs that's already rested in the previous turn. Clearly a strong ability, and they only give you 2. This is why you need 2 starter decks, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, for this one, they give you 4 Dawn, 3 cost, set up to 1 of your Uta leaders as active. And it has a pretty decent trigger, so that is interesting. This is kind of... Okay, so I guess this is what green is working. Green, like, if you attack with the Uta, So basically, if you attack with Uta, then she's rested. You rest 3 more Dawn, then she gets reset and she can swing again. So I guess if you have like final wombo combo, you give Uta 7 Dawn to swing, and then like, oh, the opponent's like, oh, he can't swing anymore. You summon this with the remaining 3 and swing 12 again. So I guess the Uta deck is a pretty ham-bone deck. I'm having a hard time understanding the leader card. The ability. People in the comments who are not as stupid as me, please explain this to me and why this is important. Because you give a Dawn, so she swings 6k, 1 attack and once per turn, reveal a card on the top of your deck and add 1 film card to your hand, and then place the rest at the bottom of the card, so bottom of your deck. So you draw 1, and then you choose 1 to put back at the bottom of the deck. Is that the ability here that I'm understanding? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I had to like Google it. I think it's just poorly worded, in my opinion. But basically, what it's kind of saying in a roundabout way is that if it's not a film card, you're just supposed to put it at the bottom of the deck. But if it is a film card, you just draw 1 card every turn. But this whole deck is all film. So basically, give her a Dawn, you literally draw a card. So that's a pretty OP ability as a leader. It's just really poorly worded. The way they say it, it makes it sound like you draw 1, and if it's not, you draw 1 and you choose what to pick, and you put the rest at the bottom of your deck. Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like I had to Google it, honestly, because the way that's worded, it's just odd, dude. The way that the card itself is worded, I can kind of understand it, because obviously moving your cards back fully doesn't make sense. But basically what the Uta leader card does is you give her a Dawn, and then you get to draw a card every turn, an extra draw, which is a very, very strong ability. Now, that does require you to only play film type characters, and this card is exclusively green. So that is a bit of a hindrance, but I honestly don't know, ladies and gentlemen. It's really up to y'all, what y'all think about it. I think that it's a very fun deck to play. I think it will be a very fun deck to play. But you'll have to have other green film type characters and cards in here, which I'll have to look in terms of what you can add and what you can't. Because I right off the top of my head, I'm thinking like green, like purple film cards, which would be really fun to add to this deck. But this is a green leader, so you can't do that. So I think the deck's gonna be fun to play. We'll try it out and test it out against Prodigious without him knowing. So but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the video, remember to like the video, comment down below, and remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you always do know when I upload the next one. But have a great rest of y'all's day, and I'll see y'all next time.
It's what you do. You give me yellow eyes and orange skies. Red, I'm seeing red. I'm riding violet waves from yesterday. It's what you do. You give me yellow eyes and orange skies.